unreactable enemy attacks, 0 tutorials to be seen, and an extremely galling difficulty with no option to tone it down. That's what Decaying Winter is. This game doesn't tell you anything. What the keybinds are, where the workbench is, what any of the items do, the types of enemy, traps, mechanics, nothing. You are dropped into the game and you're expected to figure this out right off the bat. It was only after an hour of suffering that I saw the game's description and they told you the keybind to see the controls. Put that in the game! Not everyone is going to read your descriptions. How long will it take for Roblox developers to understand that putting the controls in the descriptions is not enough? When I'm looking for new games to play, I'm not gonna read the entire description like it's a manual. It's much better to learn while playing. Do they expect me to study it like it's an exam even though I know nothing about the game? Funnily enough, there's a reason they did not put the controls in the description for this one, having instead a keybind in game for it. Look at this! Look at this! It looks like Ultimate Custom Night! I'm a fan of complex games, but this borders on comedic! You'd think that a game that has so much production value, with an announcer, cool animations, death animations, a gritty setting, leveling, perks, traits, player-made builds, etc., would actually have the decency to explain to me what the hell any of this is about. But nope. As it turns out, Decaying Winter is one of those games that can only be played if you're a masochist that wants nothing but to play one singular game their entire life, no matter how insufferable the game is or how toxic the community becomes. So the average Dead by Daylight player.
Bro, I swear to fucking God!
Alright, this is gonna be a long one, so let's start from the beginning. In the comment section of the video where I did a proto-review of 99 Nights in the Forest, I had someone tell me that 99 Nights was pretty much a clone of Decaying Winter. And now I realize that person was off their meds. What do you mean? In what way are they clones of each other? The only thing that could make them alike is the points in the game where you get raided by cultists. So what? We've patented enemy waves now? What the fuck is this, a Nintendo game? But still, I played a little bit of this game and oh boy did I still have things to say about it, and none of them are positive in the slightest. Let's take the drugs in this game for example. You get all your favorites. Hemostatic Sanustin, 3-Zibistiem, Cocktail Perithizine. Hey, have you guys ever played Left 4 Dead 2? You know how that game has adrenaline shots? Notice how that game doesn't call it epinephrine? Because it understands that not everyone who plays it has a degree in chemistry. This game is so beginner unfriendly it almost feels like it was only meant to be played by who programmed it. And it doesn't help that a bunch of items look the same. I mean, think about it. When I see a red vial, I'm not gonna think, oh, this is the item that gives you 30% more strength for exactly 15.5 seconds. What I actually think is, thank God I no longer have to be in the same room as my first chemistry teacher because she would strangle me. I enter a game, and the first thing I see is a million different items strewn all over the floor like someone's been messing around in Garry's Mod, and obviously I have no way of knowing what each of those things do until I actually use them. Also, you got hit by an enemy? That's a shame. Enjoy suffering from 16 different status effects that also don't tell you squat about how they affect you or how to heal it. Fun for the whole family! And that's not even mentioning the fact you apparently have to stave off some sort of zombie infection by finding and consuming antibiotics. I'm guessing that's the case because the game sure as hell won't tell me. Also, there are blueprints that you can find throughout a run, and if you can survive being shot 50 times on the very first day and not die, you might just be able to craft whatever is on the blueprint. You just have to find the workbench. Where's the workbench? You wanna know where the workbench is? I just found this out. It appears in a random spot of the map every run. So, it's a luxury that you have to find! Not only does this game not tell you shit, it doesn't even use common sense! It genuinely feels like this game was developed by people from Bizarro World. The difficulty is extreme from the get-go. The game actively tries to confuse you by giving items the most complicated names possible, and this game's crafting table, you know, something that is always placed next to a safe zone in every single game in existence, this is just put in the middle of the field for no reason. So on your way there, you might actually get attacked by enemies. And like, what? And you know, the funniest part about this game that hurts me, my soul, my brain, and my entire being. It's one of those games where you have to level up to unlock stuff. Your fucking mother in rain boots is gonna do that. Do you honestly believe? Honestly. And like seriously, like straight face, like looking into my eyes, do you think, after seeing all of this stuff, this game that doesn't give you tutorials, that has no difficulty settings, that literally you cannot play by yourself because, again, there's no difficulty settings, and the difficulty is incredibly bullshit, do you think I'm going to stick around to unlock all the quote-unquote good stuff that you probably won't even explain what it does anyway? Do you think I'm gonna stick around for that? No! I'm gonna play a game that actually respects my time! Oh yeah, I mentioned the difficulty and the enemies. See, the thing is, this game is kinda like anime rails, and if you've seen the video where I score that game, you'll understand how bad that is. Because this is one of those games where you need to have mastered the combat from the get-go. There's a shove, there's a parry, there's a light attack, there's a heavy attack. No tutorial, of course. They're not going to initiate you on it. They're not going to tell you can parry, they're not going to tell you can shove. And obviously, most of the time, it's worthless. Because a lot of the enemy attacks are so quick, you have to guess that they're going to be attacking in the next, like, 2 seconds. But you know what's also funny? You know what's also quite a jest? The fact that the enemies can also parry you. They can also shove you and stun you. And they can also do a heavy attack immediately after stunning you. So they take your health for free. Do I really need to say anything? Do I really need to say literally anything else? Like, they only have to be selling revives for it to make the complete package, basically. Now, obviously, I am a person who respects constructive criticism, and it would be hypocritical of me to not give constructive criticism, so I'm gonna try to, on the off chance that the developers see this, I'm gonna try to suggest a few changes, if possible. First of all, retweak the difficulty, okay? Because the only way a new player is going to survive with the way the game is right now is by joining a server full of other people who already know what they're doing, which is not going to help them in the long run, because that is not how that way they won't learn about what any of the items do, they won't learn about what any of the keys do, they won't learn about any of the mechanics, they won't learn anything, which is also why you guys need to make a tutorial. Seriously, it's insane how many people just assume that a tutorial is not needed. And this is not something that I'm asking for because this is something I like to see tutorials in games. No, having a tutorial in the game will ensure that more people stay in your game, that they continue playing, that they actually enjoy their experience, you know, because it will be a learning experience. Every game is a learning experience, and these experiences can be more or less frustrating depending on a few factors. And the most important factor of all is actually wanting to teach your new players. So please, for the love of God, at least do like a tips screen while loading. You know, like when a player is dead, have like a few tips on like the middle of the screen, telling you stuff like how to use a workbench, how to use the blueprints, how to use like medications. You know, telling you about the illnesses and the status effects, you know, about the parry and the shove and everything, you know, like just anything would make the game a million times better, and it would ensure a lot more people actually stay. Also, I mentioned the workbench earlier, so when you have a blueprint in your inventory, or when you find it anywhere in the map, make sure the blueprint also tells you how many materials you will need, because yes, this is something I still haven't talked about in this game, that is so incredibly complex and so incredibly confusing. It's been like 10 minutes of recording and I still haven't mentioned every single mechanic. There are piles of rubble all over the map, and you can attack them to gather salvage, and that salvage is what's used for crafting, which is another problem in this game, because you know, while you're already busy looking for weapons, medication, grenades, traps, and all the other stuff, you're hardly gonna get any time left to gather any salvage, you know? I mean, I guess that adds to the difficulty, but that doesn't mean anything when the difficulty is the highest possible, ever. And still on the topic of crafting, please, for the love of God, move the workbench into the safe area. Why the hell is it in the middle of the field in some random tower? I mean, literally in the safe zone there is a table that has a blueprint on it. For a while I thought that was the workbench. I thought that was the workbench, and was confused as to why I couldn't use my blueprints there. That is horrible. That needs to be changed, like, immediately. Not only for the sake of new players, but also for convenience sake. Finally, for the love of God, don't have enemies with assault rifles and shotguns scattered around the map on the very first day, when you're gonna have no medicine, no weapons, and no nothing. Because that's just gonna ensure the game ends before it even starts. Seriously, I mean, it feels like the enemies are there to keep you from playing the game. It doesn't feel like they're there to be an obstacle to the player or to be challenging. No, it's just, no, I don't want you to play the game. Die. And I think that's pretty much all of the things that I can suggest right now. Honestly, this game has so many flaws, and it's so sad because I can see the game having a ton of potential. I mean, when I first saw it, I was very excited, so it really disappointed me to see the execution of this whole thing be so lackluster. But alas, only time will tell if the game will keep receiving updates and take a turn for the better or the worse. I'm just a passing witness in the history of Roblox games. Anyway, I can't have this video last forever, so I think I'll call it a day here. I think it was an interesting experience discovering this game and being so outraged by it that on the very same day I made an entire video talking about how much I hate it and hoped the developers would fall off a bridge. No, just kidding. But seriously, I mean, I actually do love games in Roblox that are complex, you know? In fact, I always hope to find complex games in Roblox. So when I saw this game, I really was excited. So, you know, if we're gonna have more games like this one on the platform, then the least we can do is provide a proper tutorial, you know, a proper introduction to all new players so that they don't feel left out. I mean, if they feel left out, they will in turn leave the experience, which will in turn cause the experience to die out very fast. So, yeah, that's been your Robloxian lesson for the day. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. It takes some effort to have this kind of attention span, but you know, if you like these videos that I make on a whim without, well, with half a script basically, like half of it is scripted, half of it is just my outraged opinion, then I urge you to like the video, subscribe, comment on it. It would really help me, you know, help me get out there, because YouTube sure as hell is not gonna let me do that for free. And also, if you don't mind being part of a cesspool of degeneracy, you can join my Discord server. I always notify everyone in there when I upload a new video, and we even have like game nights with friends. So if you want to play with me, you know, if you want to suggest any games or anything of the sort, then please do it via Discord. Thank you again for watching. This has been Peter. Not live, not dead, but something cosmic in between. Oh god, I'm being shot. Oh god! Ah! Ah! Ah!